So earlier this morning, we got some news. The Packers have met with safety from Alabama, Brian Branch. It came out here from Gary Wolfel. He says ex-Alabama star safety Brian Branch is clearly on the Packers draft radar at 15. Branch told me he formally interviewed with the Packers Wednesday night at the Combine, and the session went really good. So as many of you guys already know, the NFL Combine is taking place this week. And so the Packers met with Brian Branch last night. And I think when we look at the Packers at 15, there's so many different ways they could use that pick. They could go tight end, maybe break away from the 20-year drought of not drafting a receiver. I doubt it, but it could happen. Safety also makes sense as well. And I think when we look at the Packers' current safety situation, we of course have Adrian Amos, who is currently a free agent, or he will be a free agent March 15th when free agency begins. The Packers have not brought him back at this point. He is getting up there at age. I'm not sure if the Packers will decide to bring him back. We'll have to see about that one. And then also Rudy Ford, who was brought in last year at safety for the Packers, has not been brought back at this point. Maybe before free agency starts, they're able to come to some deal with either of those guys. But I do wonder if that doesn't happen, selecting someone like a Brian Branch could make sense at number 15. So I want to go over a few different things about Brian Branch. As you can see right here, 6 foot, 195 pounds. And one great thing about him, he's super versatile. Played nickel a ton at Alabama, but also played safety. And so when we look at the Packers and their defense, right now with Eric Stokes, Jair Alexander, Rasul Douglas, I assume that if Branch did come in, he would play at safety because of our 3 solid cornerbacks, but he also has that versatility. If the Packers ever wanted to try him at nickel corner, he could also do that. He's also has great ball skills, super physical tackler, only missed 4 tackles in 176 attempts, which is pretty crazy. And the Packers could use some more tacklers, some very solid tacklers on this defense. And he has insane closing speed and flies to the ball. And I came across this interesting excerpt from an Athletic article by Deontay Lee, sort of breaking down the way that Branch plays defense. He says this: in every way, Branch checks the boxes of what you'd want in a defensive back. He's comfortable in coverage and capable of handling all manner of receivers from outside to the slot, tight ends, and running backs. He's a strong and reliable tracker in virtually every scenario and against every body type, and he understands how to take on blocks as an undersized defensive back who spent a good amount of time lined up in the box. In this past season, there were definitely many moments where this Packers running defense just got gouged. We had that one game against the Eagles where we let up about, 363 rushing yards in one game. And so adding a defensive back like Brian Branch, who is a very solid tackler, according to Deontay Lee, gets off his blocks, is able to play well against the run, that is something the Packers defense could really utilize. And so if the Packers decided to go with safety at 15 in Brian Branch, I'd be all for it. And as I said, many other things could make sense, but safety is a need, especially with the Packers at this point on March 2nd, the day I'm filming this, haven't signed back Adrian Amos, haven't brought back Rudy Ford up to this point. So if they don't do that, safety could make even more sense. Maybe the Packers bring back Amos, which I'm just not too sure. I feel like maybe they would have done it already, but who knows? We'll see sort of what happens there. And then, of course, as the draft comes around, we may have a little more clarity on what would make the most sense for the Packers. But I just wanted to cover that news for you guys real quick. If you want to stay up to date with all Packers news, that is what this channel is for, solely Packers content, Packers news. So feel free to subscribe. We're getting close to 25,000 subscribers, so I appreciate all you guys who watch these videos, tune in, all that kind of stuff. So I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys next time.